Todd here. Today we're going to do a little DIY project. Once we get a little caffeine here. Thank you. I needed that. Just pulled up to the studio. Gonna DIY a retro lens today, so we're gonna get in there and mess around and get that set up for, I want one for my Z-Cam to mess around with, and I ordered one and it's the wrong one, and I'll get into that on the inside. But anyway, we're going to create our my own DIY lens today, so we're gonna get in the studio and do that. Like I said in the car, I bought one of these retro lenses, this Oreo looking thing. Thought it was EF. It said it was EF, but I didn't read really close. And it's an EF-M, which is way too small to fit on the Z-Cam here, which I've got right here, which is what I'm trying to do, is get a retro lens to work on this thing, to just play around with it, do some testing, have a little fun. So anyway, this doesn't fit. So with all the crap I've got in the studio here and the old cameras laying around, I figure I can make my own, DIY my own retro lens and see what I can come up with. And I've got a couple of these Holga cameras that I used to shoot a bunch of 120 black and white with, and color neg. Kind of fun stuff, and it has its own kind of light leak and you know, look to it, and soft edges and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to take a lens off of this and figure out how to mount it onto the Z-Cam. And my first thought was, I've got these extension rings that'll mount right on there, and so I'm going to use this, I believe, to mount the hot glue or whatever, the lens onto this. But anyway, that's the first thought I'm going to try. So let's get some tools and let's make this happen. So now that we've got all the tools to what we're going to do, I need to plug this guy in to get it warming up. So get that guy heated up right now. And the other thought I had while I was thinking about this and getting tools ready is to use the hot glue to mount this lens on. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time showing you how I got the lens off, just because on the second body here, there's just a couple screws inside here, and the front lens mount pops right off. And then this lens, on this lens mount, the lens is actually just screwed on, and you just unscrew it until it just, you kind of have to force it off at the end, but it just screws right on and off, which kind of gave you the adjustable, you know, near and far focus on this thing, which we're not going to have probably. And so we've got all these tools here, got things going. And the other thought I had too was using a body cap from the on the body of another Canon body I've got. So I took that, and with the drill and a 1-inch drill bit, drilled a hole in here, thinking I can use this too as a mount. So a couple different things to try here. And before we glue anything on, and you got to have gaffer tape, just to gaffer tape something on there, just in case. So I've got that set aside, but we're going to take a look at the Z-Cam here, mount this ring on here. This is 12 millimeter. So I've got the ring on there, and now we'll get the lens. We'll fire up the camera here and see what we get on this. So we're going to test this before we glue anything on there. Okay, camera's up, monitor's up. So I just hold the lens on there, and that, going this way, the way you would think, is not really sharp at all anywhere. I'm not seeing it being sharp. So we'll flip the guy around like that, and there we go. We're pretty good, looks like pretty good infinity focus, and to about 5 feet away it looks like, if I'm spinning this around looking at things that are about 4 feet away. So it looks like we'll be in focus at about 4 feet and infinity, which is good. So that's, infinity is kind of where I want to be. So I think that's going to work that way on that with this little adapter. Take that off. Now we'll stick on the body cap, tighten that on there, put this on, and that is a little bit closer to the sensor, so that's even better. So that's better right there. Yeah, we're getting focus at about 3, maybe 4 feet still, but the infinity looks way sharper. So that looks like the technique we're going to use. Okay, now all I got to do is glue these two pieces together like that and see what happens. Boy, it'd be really cool if I could put, I may buy another, I only had one extra body cap laying around. If I've got another one, I may try and saw this off here, glue that onto the threads onto there. Then I would be able to adjust the focus on this thing, which would be pretty incredible to do. I don't have my, got a hacksaw with me. I could hacksaw that off. That I may give that a try real quick before we glue this on there. So that's, I'm gonna try and hacksaw this off of here, because that isn't gonna work. That's way too far away. Yeah, so we're gonna hacksaw that off, give that a try as well. And then it might be an adjustable focus retro lens on there. So yeah, I'm gonna hacksaw that while the glue gun heats up. Okay, got that removed. Not bad, not bad at all. Seeing what that looks like, cleaning off a lot of this fuzz here. Now, mount this guy, see if we mount this onto there, if it'll adjust the focus a little bit, which would be really kind of cool. Okay, and that will go right on there, and then this will mount onto that, and it'll give me a little bit of focus check, not a ton, but a little bit. Okay, we created a bit of a mess here. Okay, then it's just about hot. Get the Z-cam back out here. Get this off. Fire it back up. Okay, that focuses in perfect for closer up. Now if I move it out the opposite direction, boy, just that little bit of having this out takes it off the infinity, which doesn't seem to work well. It takes it back to the normal lens. And then if I spin it back here, if I pull it away, nope, this is the better way to go. That was worth a try, but that isn't gonna work. I've got to reverse this around, and that way I don't have the threads. So let's glue that on there now and take a look. Get a light leak, but we're gonna glue this guy on here nonetheless. Okay, So that is very poorly glued on there for now, but this just to see if it's going to work. Get some of this stuff to dry. Okay, so we got that glued. So now, let's head outside, put it on the camera, go shoot some stuff. Just down the road from the studio, got a train here. You can see right off there, and got the camera set up, and the lens right on there on the Z-Cam. It's not pretty, but we're going to give it a whirl anyway. It says it's a 60 millimeter, but I flipped it around, so I don't know if that's going to make a difference. I brought a 50 with me, just to swap on there, just to go a side by side to see what the difference is. And even if it does make a difference with this older, this funky old retro lens on there. So we'll see what that is. We're going to do some shots with it now. So our first shot just with the new retro lens on there. It looks sharp, so we're going to go with that. Got a few seconds of that. And I'd say I'm probably, say, 20 feet away from the train here. So it looks like it's sharp from what I can tell. This isn't the best monitor for outside, but looks good. Okay, so now we'll do a quick swap, put the 50 on there. It's good. This is so it's definitely closer than a 50 with it turned around. It looks more like, oh, maybe more like an 80. Lots of traffic. And now I'm just gonna, got some few seconds of that. We can compare. Now I'm just gonna drop the other lens back on, walk around, get some tighter shots, see the focus, and mess around with that. Headed downtown to get a couple more test shots with this retro lens I've created, and hopefully I'll keep, there's a little bit of contrast in the light out right now. Sun's breaking through a little bit, so hoping to get some shots with a little more contrast in them today, although the clouds look a little ominous ahead of me. I think it was a success. The lens performed as well as I thought it was going to. I mean, it's not sharp by any means, which I didn't really think it would be incredibly sharp anyway, just because it's a plastic lens. And, you know, it's flat. There's no contrast to it. It, you know, it kind of looks a little flared. It has that look to it that's retro. And I get so used to wanting a lens with good contrast and it's sharp. So it's just a little hard for my mind to look at something and go, oh, that's as good as it's going to get, you know, that kind of thing. But as far as buying one, I'm not going to buy one. This isn't going to fit on anything I have unless I buy another camera that's that mount, which I doubt I will. But anyway, it looks great. But to actually go out and buy one now after I've done this little test, with all the filtering you can do in Photoshop and Lightroom and On One and in Final Cut and Premiere and DaVinci, all those have filter packs. You can make something look retro. So I don't know that you really need to go out and buy one of these lenses or make one yourself. But if you have made one, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know your results, how it worked out for you, how you were able to mount it up onto the lens. after doing this, I've got other ideas on how I could mount it or make a pinhole camera out of it. Is another idea I've had. But here's a couple images that are filtered with obviously some filtration that you can look at right here. But anyway, leave any comments below. I'll be sure and get back to you if I can have time, which I will. I'll make time. And I appreciate you watching. And until next time, I'm out.